Now to introduce our speaker. Kari Hanks is Director of Programs for rootED Missouri. She has a 20-plus year career in education, including roles as a high school educator, an adjunct instructor at a community college, and a regional director at rootED prior to her current role. She is committed to helping rural Missouri students find opportunities to ensure they are on a path to success after high school. Now I will turn it over to Kari. Kari, go ahead and get started whenever you are ready. Oh no, we can't hear you. Sorry.
Okay, are we good now?
There you go.
Okay, so sorry. I couldn't do a much better introduction for myself than Matt just did for me. But yes, I am Kari Hanks, and I am the rootED Missouri. I'm now the Director of Programs with this program. I'd like to thank you all for joining in today. rootED Missouri is actually part of a larger initiative. It was founded in 2018 with the goal and the vision to narrow the opportunity gap for rural students. Currently, about a third of our high school students in the United States attend a rural school. However, less than 30% of those rural graduates in that age range from 18 to 24 are enrolled in college. This is a significant difference from the 42% of all Americans in that same age range that are enrolled in college. So while these statistics are focused on our college-going students, the rootED model supports all student post-secondary pathways that lead toward a path to success and a livable wage. So studies indicate that 80% of jobs with middle-class wages require training or education beyond that high school diploma. The rootED Alliance, we serve students in over 180 schools in Tennessee, Idaho, Texas, and Missouri. Missouri has the largest footprint by supporting over 12,000 students in over 130 rural high schools across the state for the 2023-2024 school year. The barriers students attending these rural rootED high schools face are factors such as things like living in counties where the poverty rates are nearly twice as high as the national average. The fact that there is a higher percentage compared to the national rate of students that would potentially be in that group of first-gen or first-generation college students. Additionally, these areas have a higher percentage of students from historically underrepresented backgrounds than the national rural rate. The rootED Alliance believes that every student should graduate high school on a path to career success and economic stability. This program helps to place dedicated college and career advisors in rural high schools, and they work with students in developing a post-secondary plan. It could be a college degree, it could be a work-based credential or certification, a career training program, an apprenticeship program, or military service. In the spring of 2023, every rootED high school in Missouri celebrated all students and their plans for after high school with what we call Decision Day. The photo that you see here is from Decision Day, a celebration that we had at Bolivar High School. The photograph, we have Bolivar students graduating with plans to participate in a Bachelor of Science in Respiratory Therapy program at Ozarks Technical Community College, plans to attend the University of Missouri for studies in psychology and nursing, one of which obtained their EMT certification while still in high school at Bolivar High School. We have a student attending the University of Kansas to study biomedical science, a student attending State Tech's 11-month heavy equipment operations program as well. Also photographed are two additional rural Missouri graduates that understand the importance of bridging this opportunity gap for our students. Those graduates are Byron D. Trott, philanthropist and chairman and co-CEO of BDT and MSD Partners, and Governor Mike Parson, who was also one of our keynote speakers at the rootED Decision Day at Bolivar High School. We were also joined that day by Commissioner of Education Margie Van Dieven, families, educators, the student body of Bolivar High School, as well as many community members. The following is a clip from that particular event.
rootED became an option in Bolivar as we were looking at ways that we could serve our high school students better. There's been a shift over the last 5 years of how we can be more career-oriented with our students, while also providing for those postgraduate, post-high school opportunities.
I could not recommend the rootED program enough. The role that Carla has really filled is having the time to talk with those seniors one-on-one, find out what those interests are, what career might best serve those interests. Having someone dedicated to that has made a huge difference.
A rootED advisor is someone that helps students determine what their future career path is, whether that be workforce or college or the military. We want them to be set up for success to get where they need to be.
Going into senior year, I really had no idea what I wanted to do after high school. None of my family has gone to college before me, so I didn't really know how the FAFSA worked, how financial aid worked, any of that. And Ms. Goffner, she really kind of walked me through that step by step. I wouldn't have known what any of it meant without Ms. Goffner. After high school, I plan to attend Mizzou and earn my Bachelor's of Science in Biology with an emphasis in human sciences.
Jenny's been a really fun student to work with. She was able to get her EMT certification while attending her senior year. Pretty incredible that Jenny is able to balance being a full-time student with something as heavy as being an EMT. Can't say enough how proud I am of her and what she was able to accomplish this year.
Going in my senior year, I kind of knew that I wanted to be an equipment operator. I've always kind of enjoyed it as a kid, and I figured, you know, I'd want to do a job that I'd enjoy. I wanted to see what places had the option for heavy equipment training, and State Tech was one of them. The State Tech process, getting into it, was a lot more difficult than I expected it to be, and Ms. Goffner really helped me with communicating with the admissions program there at State Tech, and Ms. Goffner helped me a lot with my FAFSA. I didn't really know what I was doing, and she obviously knew, so that was a huge help for me.
Paul is very driven and has that agricultural background, and so to be able to help him get into State Tech and be able to pursue that dream of working in heavy equipment, working on the farm, is just really exciting for me.
Bolivar's doing it right. We're going to be a model program for the state because of what Carla and our high school administration and our counselors have collaboratively come together and developed a plan and a program. And rootED's given us a really good roadmap to supporting students, and that's going to put Bolivar in a unique situation in the state.
If I were to show my gratitude, I would start off first with Ms. Goffner, because she really helped me, you know, get into State Tech, and hard pressed on making it happen.
Thank you so much for putting Ms. Goffner in this school. It has been the best thing that could have happened at Bolivar High School. She's been so much help, and so I would just say thank you so much for putting her here.
So as we reflect on the work in our rootED schools during the 2022-2023 school year, 1 in 3 college-bound students said that they would not have enrolled in college without their rootED advisor. We had an average increase of 43% in FAFSA completion in our rootED Missouri schools, which we know is essential for overcoming the financial barriers of post-secondary education. For our career-bound students, 2 in 3 are graduating with the skills and certifications necessary to make a living wage. In Missouri alone, over half of our graduates from rootED high schools reported that their advisor changed their life trajectory for the better. This work occurred through over 43,000 one-on-one meetings between advisors and students during the 22-23 school year. A goal with this program is for 100% of rootED seniors to participate also in a career exposure event, which that could be a job shadow, it could be an industry tour or program tour, it could be a college tour, it could be a college and career fair to obtain that career exposure. While our nation has remained a bit flat, we have seen a 13% increase in post-secondary enrollment in years where a rootED advisor has been placed in schools versus those pre-rootED years, that baseline. rootED alone has committed $10 million in scholarship funding to date for those rootED Missouri students. So how do these advisors help plan for a path to success? Well, they ensure that 100% of those graduates explore different career paths. They ensure that 100% of rootED graduates have a financial plan when they leave high school. They ensure that 100% of those graduates have a post-secondary plan that's best fit for their interests and their abilities. And additionally, these rootED advisors are working to increase that parent or guardian engagement in an effort to remove yet another barrier that so many of our rural students face. Here are a few additional pictures from those Decision Day celebrations that I spoke of and that we saw the great video on from Bolivar High School. And I'll leave that up that we can look at while I take any questions that anyone might have.
And please feel free to unmute yourself or just drop it in the chat, whichever is easier for you. So Kari, while people are thinking, of course, I'm personally interested in this just because I've been connected to it, but and congratulations on the work and the success. I mean, it's incredible what you all are doing. I'd be curious to hear from your perspective, what are the biggest challenges or stopping points your counselors, your advisors are having working with students? Is there anything that's particularly difficult to overcome or circumvent?
I think it's some of those typical barriers that we see with our rural students. So it's a financial barrier. That is one of our largest barriers, which is why we introduce these students and their parents and guardians to what is the FAFSA and how do we apply for scholarships and funding and making sure we find them a best fit and a best match. That parent engagement is difficult everywhere, but we all know that it's vital. Parent or guardian engagement is vital to student success. And so actively reaching out to parents and finding ways to incorporate parents in that post-secondary planning process with the student and keeping them updated. Our advisors work with that as well. We see unique barriers as well. Things like our students are trying to bring financial means to their homes. They are part of how the lights stay on in their homes. So they feel an obligation to stay there and not leave. And so that family and parent engagement is essential there as well, all the way to they don't have a driver's license. Transportation is an issue. And really with that career exposure opportunity that we provide for all of these students, they haven't been outside of many of these counties and communities to get their feet on the ground of an industry or a program or an institution that potentially could be a best fit for them. And then we bring whoever we can't get the student to, we bring those to the school. So military recruiters, Army National Guard, all pathways to success.
Wonderful. I do know that the college going environment, that's difficult to overcome, and that parent engagement is truly a tough piece. So best of luck, and please share out best practices because we all need the tools to be shared. Other thoughts or questions for Kari? Thoughts about the program, the counselors, the way the model is set up?
Well, and our counselors, they have been very supportive of as well. We all know that we're living in an age where the social emotional need and those things, our school counselors are overwhelmed. And what we hear, I just recently attended the Missouri School Counselor Association conference at Lake of the Ozarks, and what we hear from our rootED schools, from those counselors, is that this person is essential to them being able to provide those services to students that they were not able to do this post-secondary planning piece because the social emotional side and that support was so overwhelming for them. So we heard a lot of great things, and a lot of schools wishing they had this, wishing they had applied a couple of years
I'm
ago.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the jealousy and the envy between non-rooted and rooted schools is serious. We did have a question come in from Elena. What strategies do rooted advisors use to help guide students to make a decision on which post-high school plans are best for them?
So we start with what's called a vision setting conversation. And in that vision setting, some people might call it in different programs, maybe an intake conversation. But in that, a piece of that is a career interest inventory and identifying what is it about certain areas of work that you find interesting. And even those students that say, no, I want to stay in the job that I'm in, what is it about that job that you like? We give our advisors prompts to those conversations and how to pull out interest that a student has without making them feel uncomfortable, like you're trying to force them into a single pathway. And then that exposure piece, we really do try to make sure that even, our students that say that I am career training, I'm interested in an apprenticeship. Okay, do you want to come along with us on this college tour? Do you want to go ahead and meet with this recruiter as well? Because we really want to make sure that they've had every opportunity to see what is out there for them and find their best fit, their best match. And then it's laying it out financially for them. That financial planning piece, once they are kind of in, a pathway, they're 2-year college bound, they're apprenticeship bound, they're military bound, then putting in that financial piece and ensuring that whatever this pathway is that they've decided on and is going to lead them to the lifestyle that they are trying to attain.
Thank you so much. I like that piece. It never occurred to me to ask, what do you like about the job you're now? Why do you want to stay there? That's a great question to really challenge a student, so we can better understand, their needs, their priorities. That's a really good idea. And what do you call vision setting?
It's a vision setting, and it's
Yeah.
and we don't necessarily have to call it that to the students. We just start a conversation with these students, and it's not direct questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up, or how much money do you want to make, or do you want to go to college? It's different. It's trying to pull out some of those career interest inventory pieces without necessarily always going the traditional sit at a computer and complete the career interest inventory, but you get some of those same core results that can, it's even, you mentioned the piece of asking them what they like about that job. We have students that work at a restaurant, for example, and making what to them seems like a great wage as a high school student. And we say, what is it that you love about your job? And it's getting to the root that it's the culinary piece that they truly love
Right.
about that job, and then showing them some opportunities that might be available to them, possibly paid for through things like Pell eligibility and scholarships. So it has been very helpful in those types of things.
That's wonderful. We just got a shout out from Kristen. Shout out to Lindsay Munson in Higginsville. Rooted counselor that is amazing. She ensures her students not only find the right fit, but also maximize the dual credit opportunities. Absolutely. Way to go, Lindsay. Thank you for sharing, Kristen. That is awesome. That's the kind of work we want to hear about.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other thoughts, comments, or questions for Kari? Our session is scheduled for another 10 minutes, but if there's nothing else, we absolutely can wrap up a little early.
That never disappoints anyone.
Absolutely, sure, especially in the afternoon.
I did have a follow-up question.
Please.
Because I work with liberal studies students at our community college. So what do you do with students that literally have no idea? Because it seems like a lot of students are kind of hesitant to commit to doing something so early on in their life that they think they see themselves doing the entire rest of their lives.
Yeah, on that, so we have here, like our Missouri Options students, we have our alternative school students, we have our virtual students, we have a variety of students that we offer incentives, like if you will, disciplinary things are going well, grades are going well, then we take them on the college visit, the program tour. Things like going to a lineman academy has been very helpful, taking them to a place here in Missouri called Capital Academy and seeing that people just like them left their rural high school and went off and got a skill a certification, a trade, and came back to their rural community and were able to provide that skill to people in that community, from small engine repair to working on the asphalt crews, those things. It's getting the student out and letting them know that there are people just like them that have been able to obtain a livable wage and a great career path. That's been very helpful for us. We bring speakers in as well. Alumni speakers have been helpful in coming back to those rural high schools or from the community. And it's interesting when our students look at us, they think that, well, obviously you've always been in this position. You've never been a kid in that rural high school, but letting them come back and tell their story about, hey, this is where I started and this is where I am now and here's how I got there, has been also incredibly helpful.